Trying to be nobody's hero, you know. My heart is 3 below 0.
I am just loving this hair. Maybe I should cut this. I'm about to use some kitchen scissors to cut my sideburns down. I already know I'm gonna regret this. So today's review comes courtesy of Maxine Hair. As Malibu Dollface would say, I requested everybody's favorite Brazilian body wave. And she is so pretty. So I did record a tutorial on how I did my baby hair and all of that jazz. So let's cut to that and then I'll be right back. So I've just freshly bleached the knots and this is what it looks like. Bleached to perfection. Now I'm going to throw it on my mannequin head and secure it with some T-pins. That way I can see exactly where I am plucking. And then I'm just going to go right in. There's really no proper way to explain the technique. The best advice I can give off the bat is it's really just through trial and error and seeing what works for you. I'm still in the process of perfecting mine, but I think I have something going. All I'm doing is I tweeze, then I take a space, tweeze, go on a space, tweeze, create a space. And the space in between what I tweeze is kind of like however wide the space that I tweeze is. I like skip a space that's probably equal the amount of width, if that makes any sense at all. I really don't know how to explain this better than showing you guys. But just tweeze, space, tweeze, space, tweeze, space, all the way around. You don't want to do too much at a time, like tweeze, space, all the way around. And it already starting to look a little bit better because you don't want your hairline to look square or too uniform. You kind of want it to be a little bit like yours, imperfect. So I'm going on the opposite side and doing the exact same thing. Tweeze, space. And again, the space that I don't tweeze is probably equivalent to the space I did tweeze, if that makes any sense at all. Try not to do too much at once. And then as you can see, I'm just pulling the hair back so that I can see what I tweezed. And when you brush the hair back, you're kind of getting rid of what you tweezed because it'll still sit there a little bit. And if you comb it backwards, you can actually see what you have. Now I've tweezed space all the way to the other side. Then I kind of brush the hair back to see what was left. And then I'm going to go back around and do it again. So kind of tweeze space, go around, comb the hair out and see what you have. And then do it again. And kind of just take your time. Because when you try to do one side at a time and you haven't perfected, that's how you'll get bald spots or take too much away. Now, as you can see, if you like kind of glance at the hair on this lace frontal in the back, you can kind of see the parting. So it wasn't too dense to begin with. It just more so the hairline that I wanted to perfect and thin out. For some reason, I realized that when I tweezed the left side of this frontal and then the right side of this frontal, I did kind of tweeze the left side a little bit more than the right. And that's why it's good to just take your time, come back to it if you have to, and just see like what mistakes you've made and fix them, I guess you would say. But it's not a race. Until you've perfected it, just take your time. But it already looks better to me because on the scalp, this is going to look better than it being really full and dense. Now I went ahead and took out the ponytail and I'm just going through and raking through and getting all of the excess hair out. And this is how much I've taken out so far. And now it looks so good. You want it to mimic your own natural hairline. So I'm going to part it and go back further. As you can see, when I parted it, there was already a lot of space in between. And that's because this frontal was actually pretty good. It was not too dense. It kind of looks here like I took out a lot, but there wasn't a lot to begin with. So again, just use your best judgment as to what works for you. I just want this to mimic my hairline, and my hairline is very thin. So I don't want it to be too thick. I kind of want it to look like what mine looks like naturally, but better. Now what you want to do is just go back as far as you want, maybe part it maybe 2 or 3 times going backwards and tweeze, and then come back to the front. That way it's a little bit more gradient and it's just not dense, and then in the very tip it's like thin, if that makes any sense. And then keep raking through it with a comb or with your fingers, because sometimes it looks like it's a little bit fuller than what it is, and when you brush it out you'll see what you really have. When you look further back in this hairline or in this frontal, you see that it already was thin in the parting, which is a good sign it wasn't too thin and it'll lay flat. I'm just going to take some foam wrap or some mousse and just brush it out, because I really just want to see what I got going. And like I said, I did not go too far back, so how you see that you can see through the parting, that's naturally how the frontal was. And I'm just going to go all the way around. I've noticed that with this frontal, it is much more dense up top in the center than it was on the sides. So usually that's probably the case with a lot of frontals. So make sure you focus more on the top, because that's what you're going to see first. And, you know, that's kind of where your parting might be. So it might be best to make sure that looks the best, and then the sides are kind of secondary. Now I'm going around again for about the 3rd or 4th time. Like I said before, the top center is probably where you'll find the most density. So that's kind of where you want to take your time and make sure that is perfect. Do be mindful that because I did bleach my knots, they will shed a little bit more than natural. So if you don't bleach your knots, it probably will stay exactly as is. But because I've bleached my knots, over time this will get even thinner. So if you're going to be wearing your frontal for a long time, like months or so, you probably want to make sure that you don't tweeze as much as I did. And as you can see, the right side is still a lot more dense than the left side. So I'm going to continue to work on the right side to make sure it matches the left side. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of water, or a lot of bit of water. I like it when the frontal is wet. It makes it easier to tweeze, and it makes it easier to see what you have and what it's going to look like on, opposed to when it's dry, you can't tell as much. Now I'm going to take a rat tail comb and start to form the baby hair. I like my baby hair very, very thin so that it looks natural and mimics what it would look like on my real head. Sometimes I do it very thick as well, but ideally I do prefer it very thin. And I'm just taking a razor and I'm going very jagged and kind of just making or cutting it down at different lengths and angles, because I don't like it when the baby hair is super perfect. But I do want the pieces to be probably between 1/2 inch and 1 inch. And I like them to be all different lengths. That way it works best. And I'm just going to take a little bit of mousse. And this is going to help the hair to sort of, or train it to go in the opposite direction. That way it'll stay kind of laying that way even when it's not done. I also find that when you're doing baby hair, it's best to use your fingers. I'm going to tweeze out a little bit more in that hairline for those baby hairs, because like I said, I want it like really, really, really thin. That's just how it looks best and most natural to me. Now I'm going to take a little bit of edge control. And this one isn't like amazing, but it works for me sometimes. And I like to take the back of the comb and swoop the baby hair. Now again, it's best to learn through trial and error. Something that I do different now that I did not do here is I kind of use my fingers more so to guide the swoop of the baby hair, if that makes any sense. So I'll take a little bit of the pomade and I will use my fingers. Like here, I'm not using my fingers as much, but I literally will use my finger to create that swoop, and it makes it look a little bit more natural and flawless than even what I have here. So use your fingers and the back of a comb more than anything. And then I'm just going to take out a little bit and kind of train it to go in that direction for the baby hair. Also, another mistake that I made in this video is start at the top center and then work your way down the sides. I started on the side and it kind of messes up the formation, if that makes any sense, because you kind of want it to start at the top center and kind of like go along the sides. So I don't get to perfect the top the way I did the sides in this video. But if you start at the top center and use my technique, it'll look so much more flawless and seamless. Also, I needed to move that T-pin and I was too lazy to do so. But like here, I should have been using my fingers to guide it. If a brush works better for you, then use like a brush, like a baby hair brush or a toothbrush, I should say. And just work it. This is the best that my hairline has ever looked on a frontal, honestly, and I still have work to do. So again, it is practice and everyone learns at their own pace. I'm going to use a little bit more of that mousse on the opposite side. I did use too much mousse, I will be honest. So use a little bit less than what I did use, because between the mousse and the pomade, it can begin to flake up and look white. So this was my first time really taking my time with the frontal, and I think I did pretty good. Practice makes perfect, but this is the final results. Use less foam so it won't be white like that, and I hope that this was helpful. So I hope that tutorial was helpful to you guys. What they sent over was their Brazilian body wave hair. I requested 3 20-inch bundles, an 18-inch bundle, and an 18-inch 13x4 lace frontal. I did not use the 18-inch bundle. Excuse my nails, it's time for my nail appointment. So there is 3 20s basically, 3 20-inch bundles and an 18-inch lace frontal. I did go ahead and bleach the knots, and then you guys seen that I tried to make the hairline a little bit thinner, and just trying to learn how to make these bad boys work for me. I've still of course got some learning to do, but I'm just at that point where, you know, I'm just gonna try a little bit harder and practice a little bit more on, you know, my craft, so to speak. But anyways, I hope that was pretty helpful, because this is how I've been doing my baby hair lately. I've also seen a few more techniques that I want to try just to find my comfort zone and see what I like. Of course, I want to be able to do all the cool designs and stuff like that, but of course you gotta crawl before you walk. Is that the saying? I think so. Let me show you guys what the hair looks like from. I think the biggest thing for me is like the baby hair that goes right here. I feel like when I do it, it sticks out, and I want it to just like lay flat and flawless. So if you know somebody who got a tutorial on how to make that look better, let your girl know. I am in love with this texture of hair. Bleaching the knots worked out amazing. Thinning the hairline out worked amazing, and of course making the baby hair worked out amazing as well. Since then, I really haven't did anything to it but add water and a little bit of oil sheen. Of course, over time, I probably will have to, you know, add more product to maintain this style, because this is the natural texture without like any curling irons or flat irons, and I love it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I feel like it was self-explanatory, but if you have any more questions, leave them in the comments below. I will be doing more videos like this just as I learn. We're filming myself as I learn to sort of track my progress as I get better and better and better, because one day I'm gonna be slaying these wigs so hard y'all gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be so bomb. But again, practice makes perfect, so that's just my journey right now, perfecting my craft when it comes to the baby hair and the lace frontals and the coloring and the cutting and just all of that. Like, I'm invested. Like, I really want to go to hair school, but I don't have time, so I just have to teach myself. You know, like, I don't have time to go to hair school for 40 hours a week at night when I got 2 kids here. You know what I mean? So this is my new little journey. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Like and share this video for more videos like this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out Maxine Hair. I do have all the information and a link to this hair listed down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. and I'll see you in the next one. As far as the texture, of the hair goes, I think it's so beautiful. I don't have any complaints about it. The only shedding I got for real was from cutting the wefts and making this wig. I did hot glue gun it. My plan was to sew it down, but I've been procrastinating so hard on this video that I just went ahead and glued it down so that I can enjoy the hair for a few days before I did the video, and it worked out just fine. Tangling, not even a little bit, not even close. I have co-washed this hair for your information, and I wish I would have dyed it black. Since I went ahead and did the hot glue gun method, I won't be able to dye it now, but I just think that the this texture in jet black would have popped so hard. I think rather than adding product when this style gets a little bit old, I'll go ahead and do some curls with my curling iron, and it's just gonna pop so hard. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Damn. 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 Damn.